Welcome to You Are Not Alone. This is a safe place to explore all things spiritual and beyond. I am spiritual medium Erica Gabriel. Well, hello, most beautiful, wonderful friends. Good day. Hello. Is it morning? Is it night? Is it afternoon? Is it the middle of the night? What time is it where you are listening right now? You know, you might be listening to this right when this is released or a long time later. That's what's so interesting about kind of getting drawn to something spiritually. You could just be scrolling, just innocently minding your business, scrolling through podcasts, and you stop on this one and you stop on this episode out of all the episodes. You know what I mean? And you're like, I want to listen to this. And you push play. And it's like, why? Why does that happen? Why do we randomly get drawn towards something? You know what I mean? Most of the time, it's because there's something here for you. There's something here for you today. You're going to hear something in this podcast that's going to be a nugget as you move forward on your path, on your journey in your life. It's going to be a nugget. You may hear one nugget, you may hear 50 nuggets right now that you're like, holy crap. I needed to hear every single one of those things. Maybe you hear stuff and you're like, what the hell? I don't agree with this at all. And it firms up, you know, your idea of what you think, right? And it may be different. But at the end of the day, you're here for a reason. I don't like to abuse that philosophy. Everything happens for a reason, because it's like, but there's so much else to go along with that, right? But you are hearing this for a reason. You are listening to this for a reason. You are a spiritual seeker. You're a magical being. You're an infinite being. You're a master creator. You're a co-creator of your life with spirit, with the universe. You are so powerful. And part of that power and that connection to spirit and to your inner voice led you right here, right now. Because let me tell you, this episode is not for the faint of heart. And if you listen to last week's episode, you know that shit was not for the faint of heart either. I feel like there is an urgency happening with spirit to get through messages that are really going to shake things up, or shake those who are willing to listen up. I just listened to a meditation, and it was this sweet, gentle meditation, focusing on the breath, focusing on the heart center, heart chakra. It helped me so much, you guys. I felt calm. I felt grounded. I felt held. And we need that. We have to find that. We have to have those moments, of course. But not this podcast. No, I'm just kidding. This year and the start of the year of this podcast has felt very charged, not negative, not positive, not negative or positive, just charged with activity, with forward motion. I feel the guides are really going in to the heart of the matter on a lot of things. I feel like there is a beautiful energy here. I'm not going to call it a plus, a minus, an intense, a this. Let's just call it an energy. And it's rideable, right? You can ride this flow and ride this energy, should you so choose. And who knows, maybe this, maybe the episodes will take a turn and become very gentle, very gentle. That's why I am, taking these episodes a little more as they come. So last season I had like 9 episodes ready to go when the season started. I don't this one. And I feel like, because as we've seen, January 1st hit and then a whole freaking city in America is burning down. It's like things are happening so fast. A city that is one of my most precious places I could ever imagine. So I think things are happening so quickly. And I think, I may have a couple stockpiled at some point this season, but I'm also like, I need to stay on my feet. I need to be available to what spirit needs to bring through in these very intense moments. I have to stay on my feet, and Spirit is came here to tell it like it is, and really work with people that say that they want to evolve. People that are like, I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to be more spiritual. I want to do this. And Spirit's like, do you? Because you're going to have to really look at things. There is this God in Hinduism, and I am not Hindi, and I may explain this not perfectly. So if anyone is listening that is Hindi or a specialist in Hinduism and I'm saying something off, I'm really sorry. I don't mean any disrespect whatsoever. I can only explain how it's been explained to me and the experiences that I've had. But there is a god in Hinduism, one of the main gods, Lord Ganesh. People say Ganesh, Ganesha, all kinds of ways. Lord Ganesh, he is a man with an elephant face. Have you guys seen this god? Oh my gosh. Sorry, there was a bug in my office. How are there bugs in my office in winter, people? So he is a Hindu god. And I'm going to explain it very simply. He's known as the remover of obstacles. The remover of obstacles. And people pray to him and do pujas, which are ceremonies or prayers to him. And what was told to me by a dear friend who's Hindu is that you can bring Lord Ganesh something. You can bring him something that is you're struggling with, and you can bring it to him and ask him to take it. But if you are not ready to give it, and you come to him to take it, and you're not actually ready to give it, you don't want to be playing tug of war with a god. You have to be ready to surrender it. It's the same thing with saying to the universe, I want to move on and up and forward and ahead, and I want to be more spiritual, and I want to connect with my inner voice and my guides and my angels. If you truly open and ask for that, be ready to truly look and to truly be available to shifting and changing, or else you're going to be struggling. And I feel like the guides are really, if people are ready to do this, they are going straight to the heart of the matter. And that leads me to, I hope that makes sense, you guys. DM me if it didn't. But so that leads me to the word of the year. So words of the year. So this is what I used to do. And I mean, some of you have been following me from the beginning. Instagram, 120 followers. You know what I mean? And like, you are one of them. You know, there are a lot of you that just have been with me for years and years. Years. And something that I did for a while was I did vibration predictions for the year ahead. So I wouldn't do like world predictions, Notre Dame predictions. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it like that, but it would be vibration predictions. So the vibration of the year on a spiritual level. And then I would also have a word of the year. And if I am not mistaken, I don't believe that I did last year. If I'm not mistaken, if I am, remind me, just DM me or whatever, but I can't bring it up. I can search. I know I did a New Year's nugget last year, I believe, but I don't think I did a word. So I have had a word ringing in my ears. It's not going to come as a surprise now that you heard my preface, but I've had a word over and over again. It surprised me. And then I've unpacked it. I'm going to unpack it for you guys. Are you ready? The word of 2025 is work. 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 So I was like, work? For real? That's the word? Shouldn't it be like enlighten? spirit, surrender, faith, forgiveness, like, come on, come on. And my guides are like, work. They're like, you better work. Remember RuPaul? You better work. Work. So the explanation is very simple. You have to create a willingness to do the actions to get you to where you want to be. It's very, very simple. I looked up the definition of the word work since I was grappling a little bit. I'm like, work? Does that mean I need to go into my office more hours a week? Does that mean? No, it really doesn't. It's not about that. It can be. It can be if you're like, I want all these things in my career and I haven't worked in 3 weeks or worked on it or whatever. I mean, listen, you have to, align it with you. But I looked up the definition of the word because I wanted to just break it down. All right. Please keep in mind, I'm a student of my guides as well. I'm constantly a student of my guides and processing things that they're giving to me to share with everyone and also giving to me to do in my own life. So, the definition of work is an activity involving a mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. It's an activity using the mind or the body, or we can say the soul, right? In order to achieve a purpose or result. Okay? A task or tasks to be undertaken, something you have to do to get to where you want to go. Verb, be engaged in a physical or mental activity in order to achieve a result. It's doing something to achieve the result. That's it. We can hear the word work and we're like, oh my gosh. And I know sometimes that's triggering too, because it's like, maybe we don't have work. Maybe we're out of work. Maybe we don't work because we chose to do something else, right? Maybe we're in a relationship and one person is, quote, working outside of the home, right? Or something like that, right? Maybe there's all kinds of things that come up when we hear the word work. But the way that my guides are explaining it, it is about doing things to achieve a result. And it sounds so simple, but how many times are we not willing to actually do the things to achieve a result? Think about it. How many times are we not willing to do the thing to actually achieve the result? Why don't we do the thing? We feel sorry for ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. We have a victim mentality. We don't think we deserve the actual thing that we want. We're afraid. We have imposter syndrome. We get stuck in the what if it doesn't work. We do all kinds of mental jump ropes, obstacle courses against doing an action that will get us to where we want to go. And what your guides are saying is do the work. Just get up and do the work. Don't worry about the end result right now. Find what it is that you want to change and do the steps that you have to do to get there. And when your mind starts to fuck with you, you practice and create and hone in on tools that help cool the mind so you can focus on what you have to do. So let me give you an example. This is where the lightning strike comes in. I have spent thousands of hours talking to people, sitting with them, holding space, and channeling their guides to obtain information that will serve them. So I have sat intimately, very intimately with thousands of people. There is a component that I see over and over again called the lightning strike component. I'm going to copyright that, by the way. I'm going to coin that phrase, the lightning strike component. It looks like this. My life is shitty. I don't like where I live. I'm not happy in my relationship. I want to make more money and I want to be in shape. what lightning is going to strike that's going to make all that work out for me? And I have to really think because I don't want to speak out of turn. Have I ever seen? I'm going to say that I haven't seen lightning strike ever. There is no lightning coming. Let me repeat that. There's no lightning coming. When am I going to have enough money to move? When am I just going to obtain miraculously 10 grand? But in the meantime, I don't work. I sit on the couch and I make excuses why it would be horrible if I worked and created income. This sounds crazy. You're like, are these people real, Erica? Are people really saying these things? And it's like, oh, yeah. And you know what? I don't judge that shit. Let me give you a personal example. My back hurts. My stomach doesn't feel good because I had C-sections. My arms aren't muscular. Okay. So how many days a week do you work on your physical fitness? None. Oh, okay. Why? Well, here's why. I don't like sweating. I don't like exercising. I don't like doing group activities. I don't know how to use the gym equipment. My back is too damaged to even use gym equipment. Trainers annoy me. They want to know everything about me and get too personal, and then I feel guilty when I have to leave them. Excuse, excuse, excuse. I'm 5'2" and small. I can't lift weights. I'm a victim of my genes. Excuse, 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 excuse. Not willing to do the work to get to where I say that I want to go. I just want to add, okay, this is just for my own soul, as I am very, very candid with you all about my extreme flaws. They're not flaws, they're part of me, but that's okay. I did go to physical therapy. I hired a trainer many months ago. I don't have the trainer anymore because I learned how to use the gym and I go on my own and it's amazing and I changed. So I just want to say that. Okay. Just want to put that out there. Am I patting myself on the back? Maybe. Okay, great. Good for you, girl. Anyway, and I applaud anyone who goes out there and does the work. Let's use something small. Wow. The grass next to my door is ugly. I just wish flowers would grow there. It's like, did you buy seeds? And it's like, no, because I wouldn't know which flowers and I don't like working in the dirt and I don't like this. And what if I have someone has to water them if I'm out of town? And it's like, whoa, what mental obstacle courses have we mind fucked ourselves into to make us inactive, victimhood, totally scared, which is blocking us from doing the work to getting to where we want to go? This is a self-examination. And my guides were like, the word of the year is work. I read for people that so badly want to work with spirit and listen to their guides and their angels so badly. And then when their guides come in and tell them, here's the quote work to get you closer, here's what's blocking you. Here's the work, the actions to take to work with that energy. And they're like, yeah, I don't want to do that. That's uncomfortable for me. I don't want to do that. I'm not good at that. Tell me when lightning will strike and my guides just start speaking to me and I can hear them clearly and they can control my life. It's like, there is no lightning. I hope you guys are feeling this and understanding what the guides are saying. And I know I'm saying it intensely. And there, of course, are tons of legitimate reasons why there's certain things we can't do. It's not talking about those. It's talking about the illegitimate things that we're constantly putting in our path which stops us from doing the work, which makes the things we want some random far off thing that we feel really negative about because we don't have it. If you are looking at starting a small business, right? So many of you write me. I work in an office and I also have a business idea, right? I have a business idea. I make these bracelets. I'm going to make this up. Let's just go with me because you can apply this to what you're thinking about. I make these bracelets and I have a business idea to make them and start with them and then make other jewelry and create a small online business. But I'm too busy to do that and I can't afford to quit my job. And I don't know how to run a business. And I don't have this and I don't have that and all the excuses. And really, the idea would be, and they're scared, right? They're scared. Oh my God, I'm going to have to quit my job and I have to do all this all at once and I can't do any of those things. And it's like, well, you're fine, right? Where you are, right? Like you're fine. You make money, you work, that people are nice to you, everything's cool. So you're totally safe. So instead of thinking that you have to have some gangbuster successful business tomorrow or else it's not a worthy thing, you know, you said that you don't know how to run a business. And there are night classes twice a week. That's a small business class that shows you how to set up your taxes and how to set some things up. 2 nights a week, an hour and a half each. Instead of worrying about that, all the worries that comes with if it's not a gangbuster successful business overnight, do one thing, one action that steps you on the path towards your goal. One action. Pick one thing. Just pick one thing. And you're doing it. You're working it. You're doing the work. And who knows what will come out of that one thing, right? You're in the class. They make you break up into small groups to discuss business ideas. You actually meet someone else in the small group that has a jewelry idea as well. You guys start collaborating. They already have some business things set up. You have some other things set up. I mean, it's the mind boggles because then people go, well, if this is all about work, what about miracles? What about manifestation? And it's like, yes, all of it together. If you're sitting at home saying, my business is never going to work, I want a jewelry business, but it won't work out from all these reasons. And you're sitting at home and a great person lives next door to you that has a successful jewelry business that you could collaborate with. I'm making something up, obviously. But you're at home thinking what a shithead you are. You're never going to meet them. Maybe you are manifesting and spirit is helping you, but you can't see it because you're so clogged up with all the blocks to get there. You may not be able to completely change your whole mind. I know I can't. I still have to push myself every day when I go to the gym. That is always going to be there. I saw the head of the gym today. Oh my God, I'm looking at it right now. The head of the gym, this amazing guy, incredible athlete. He sees me in there day after day working out and he goes, you should try one of our classes. And I go, oh, no, I don't want to do a class. You know what I mean? He looked at me like, are you okay? He's like, I'm going to go get you a schedule. Here's a class. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm still, but I still was showing up at the gym. I saw it and I just went on and I signed up for the class. I do not play well with others, guys, in terms of exercise. So I will tell you how it goes, but like, it's an ever evolving thing. The nature of your song, the song that you're singing is how everything is going to look and sound around you. If you are in flow and you are doing the actions and you're going, I know I'm scared in my mind. I feel that. I acknowledge that. It's not about being mean to yourself or making yourself feel bad. Opposite. It's saying, I hear you and I hear all those fears so much and I love you so much that I'm going to do this night class. to create some flow in that area. And you know what? Maybe you don't even freaking like the class, but you learn a few things and then you look at something else and those few things made you buy a book. And then the author of that book happens to be coming to speak in your town and you hear them speak and you get some more information. And all of a sudden, in your spare time, you're making the jewelry and you're having fun. You don't have a successful business yet, but that's okay. You're doing the actions, you're doing the work, you're creating the flow. And then because you're having so much fun and your vibration is up, then you start manifesting. And then because you feel so good, you have space and you allow in all of that manifestation and all of those dreams. Think about how much higher vibration that is than sitting there going, I suck and I'm never going to get it. I want it. But here's all the reasons why that could never be possible for me. And you may even hear this podcast and go, that's really cute about the made up thing about the girl with the jewelry. But here's why mine isn't like that. And here's why mine could never work. That's okay. What did we say in the beginning of this podcast? You may hear something you love. You may hear things you hate. You may take one thing, 10 things, 50 things, no things away from this, but you were supposed to hear this. Get up and work. Do the activities to achieve your purpose or results you are looking for, big or small. Do the actions. We talk so much about spirit. We talk so much about mind. Now let's move. Let's work. Listen, the other thing about work, when I know for me, when I hear work, it's like, man, you got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work. I'm like, oh God, that sounds awful. You know what I mean? Oh God, I have so much work to do. You know, that sounds arduous. That sounds scary. That sounds time consuming. Listen, things can change in a second. That's miracles are everywhere, but you have to be willing to start taking the actions. I remember living in LA and everyone I knew was an actor. And, you know, so many of them were just wandering around, picking their nose, waiting for lightning to strike. You sitting in this restaurant. Are you an actor? I'm going to make you a star. You know what I mean? Never happened, by the way. Knew hundreds of actors. Doesn't work like that, right? So it's okay. And this is so normal. This is so, so normal. Just acknowledge it. Oh, wow. Am I doing that? It's like, yeah, you are. I know I am in lots of different areas. This is something that I'm looking at as well. Again, I never come at these things with my guides from like, Erica has mastered this. Erica has mastered this and must tell the podcast listeners. It's usually the opposites, things that I'm working on. But the idea is work. You want to feel better, do the work to get there. You want to change things, do the work to get there. Do you know how many people I talk to that don't have jobs? Capable, wonderful people. And they're so sad that they don't have money. They don't have jobs. Right? Because they're stopping themselves from getting a job because the job won't be good enough or it won't pay enough or it won't be as good as the other thing or it won't be. So they choose no income instead of any income. And then they're just at home crying because they don't have income. This is who we are as humans. It's okay. We're not bad people. This is what happens when our mind starts to play tricks on us and do mental loops. It's like, cut all that shit out. What do you want? Now do the work to get there without fear. And you know what? Sometimes we do the work and we work towards something and it's a big fucking flop, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Happened to me. Made one of the biggest mistakes of my entire professional career in 2022. Still paying for it. I learned so much, though. I learned so much and it changed me. It really, really changed me. And I learned and it hurt and I learned. So even if it's a quote flop, right? I'm making air parentheses. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, hello. I'm waving. But It wasn't. It needed to happen. I get it. I had to learn I learned so many lessons from that about myself, about how I view myself, about how I view my work, about, oh gosh, so many things. So many things. And you know what they promised me? They promised me a lightning strike. They promised me a lightning strike. Shit. Right? Have you guys been hooked on a possibility of a lightning strike by any chance? I know a lot of us have. But the lightning strikes, the lightning strikes that I've seen, I mean, I have seen, let's use actors for an example. I have seen some people work, 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 work. They're in the mind, body, spirit. They're in that gym. They're in their acting classes. They're doing their thing. They're moving. Whoop, they're booking something. Oh, they got a show. I mean, it looks like a lightning strike, but it's not. So the idea is to move forward with the tasks and the actions to see and achieve a result. Very, very simple. When you have an inspiration, something in you, I want to do that. I want to write a children's book. I want a jewelry line. I want a better job. I want to go back to school for nursing. I want whatever it may be. And you have that in you, that spark. It is there for a reason. If you work the actions, you start to elevate your energy, you start to open yourself up for flow, you start to manifest. It all works together, guys. We think manifesting is like, well, if you're manifesting, you can just hang out and it'll come. But there's other parts to manifesting. It all has to go together. The miracles, the manifesting, the surrendering, the actions, the work, the readiness. The other thing is there's so much about being available. I am available to the result that I want. And I think that was something I bumped into too. Was I really available to that? Right? Happens. I see it with people with love a lot. They want a partner. But they're actually not open and available to meeting someone. And there's work in there. Right? And sometimes the work, has to do with mental, right? It's like, wow, my work is, working through that past relationship that I buried and never looked at, or whatever it may be. You have to find what it is for you. This podcast was a lot about, action work, but it can be spiritual. It can be mental. It all goes together. Are there things you're avoiding doing that will push you forward towards the thing you say you want? What are you afraid of? And if you know what you're afraid of, is that even real? Or is that a story that you are projecting on the future? Right? My action is I want to write a children's book. My story is that it'll be a flop and no one will want it. That's not real. You're creating worst case scenarios in the mind that aren't even real. Work. Does it mean it's hard? No, doesn't have to. Does it have to be hard work? No, it can just be taking steps. You can do it with as gentle grace as you want. How do you guys feel about this podcast? Listen, every time I do a podcast and I record it, and then I go away and think about it, I'm like, ooh, there was a whole piece of that I missed. You know what I mean? Like it'll come later. I'm like, oh shit, I should have said that because that really ties it in and that ties it up. And then my guides come in and they're like, everything you said is exactly what was meant to be said. What you left out wasn't belonging in that one. So, um, my prayer is that this made sense. My prayer is that this served, that you could recognize some of yourself somewhere here. I was listening to this podcast. I actually didn't listen to the whole thing, but this woman, Mel Robbins, I'm sure you guys know her. I really haven't heard her much before. I know she's totally out there, but I heard her on some podcast promoting a book. And she was like, basically, I'll try and tell it as accurately as I can. Basically, her whole life came tumbling down. She was 41 years old. She was drinking. She was close to divorce. She was bankrupt. It was like a disaster, basically. She crashed. And she said at 41 years old, and I quote, I had to pick my 41-year-old ass up. You know what I mean? And she said, I'm no different than anyone else. I am just willing to get up every single day and do all the things that no one else wants to do. All the annoying emails and writing and phone calls. And she just was like, I do all the things that no one else wants to do. I get up and I work. And that's why she is one of the most successful self-help inspirational people in history. She has 20 million listens on her podcast. She's like, I'm willing to get up and do all the things that no one else wants to do. And I work. And she said when she was depressed and lost everything, she started with one thing. That when she woke up her eyes and opened her eyes, woke up and opened her eyes in the morning, she would count down from 5 to 1. And when her feet hit the ground at 1, she got up like a rocket and moved. So she would wake up and be like, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to do this. My life is over. And she would just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she'd go boom, and she'd get up. And she uses that in her life. Like if she's sitting down to do some action, some work, and she's like, I don't feel like doing this. She goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she just took it from watching a rocket go off to space one day. And it was like 10, 10, 10, 9, 9, 9. And she thought if she does 5 to 1, she'll be like a rocket and do the things she has to do. Listen, that's one person's perspective and their one person's way of doing things. Your way of doing things may be sitting and meditating for 3 minutes and grounding yourself down and cooling down the mental chaos so that you can do the actions that you want to do to get you to where you want to go. Small actions, small steps. You have to be willing to do the work to get you to the place you say you want. And then some of you say, I don't know what I want. And then your guides say, that's okay. Just focus on doing actions that get you to a higher vibration, that get you to a place where you feel better. And once you start feeling a little better and your vibration starts rising, things will loosen up. It will come. It will come. Please follow me at Spiritual Medium Erica on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. If you want to watch these, it's basically just me right now spinning around in my office chair, but you can watch me do it on YouTube. Please follow me there. You can always email info@ericagabriel.com if you're hoping to have some one-on-one time with me. Please share this podcast, comment, like it, all the things. It helps me keep going. I love you all. You guys are amazing powerhouse spiritual seekers. If you're listening to this, you're already on another level, you guys. Because the fact that your soul brought you here to hear these very, very clear messages means you're already on the path. You're not way far off. You're not lost. You're not messed up. You're not listless. You're not a loser. You're none of those things. The fact that you're even here, you're ready. This is your year. It's 2025. Now go and work. I love you. God bless you. Happy 2025. And if you take nothing else away from this podcast, please know deep in your heart that you are not alone.